Okay, hello again, Jim here. I'm in my truck. We're gonna leave Grumman Memorial Park. I'm gonna drive home to Santa Mariches now. I'm gonna drive through what used to be the Grumman plant here in Calverton. It's no longer a Grumman Corporation, and it's no longer building airplanes. But let's go this way, heading west on Route 25, Eastern Long Island, Calverton, New York. So that was Grumman Memorial Park with the F14 Tomcat and the A6B Intruder. And right here is the former Navy Weapons Industrial Reserve Plant. No longer exists as that. Okay. They call it Enterprise Park now, Calverton. When the F14 production came to an end here and the other airplanes, the Navy turned this property over to the Town of Riverhead. But for 55 years it was a Naval Weapons Industrial Reserve Plant, leased to the Grumman Corporation, which built the Navy's jet planes here, primarily F14 Tomcat and the A6 Intruder, but also other airplanes. This is the north entrance to the facility. Now to the right is remains of a 7,000-foot runway, and to the left is still an active 10,000-foot runway, although I would say inactive. Not very many flights these days. It's a shame because this place could be used for air transportation, if not passengers, then at least freight, merchandise like that. Alright, this is the north side of the plant, of the Calverton facility, where I worked for 35 years for the Grumman Corporation. And the hangar you're going to see coming up here, this is known as Plant 7. So this is where all of the Grumman jet planes, when they were completed, built, then they were tested out of these hangars over here. Maybe we did each production airplane, they did like half a dozen test flights, and then the Navy would take over the airplane and fly it off to a naval air station. There's a lot of new construction on here because since it was turned over to the town, certain businesses have moved in and built up. But that's one of the original Grumman buildings. Let's see where I can drive here and get a little closer. I'll drive over here before somebody chases me out. Okay. This building with the big yellow doors, again, was Plant 7, which was the flight test hangars and the flight delivery hangars for Grumman, for delivering the Navy airplanes. So I worked for many years in these hangars. This gray building over here has been refurbished as a new private company, but that also was a flight test hangar where we had a lot of our Grumman flight test airplanes housed in there. And I worked out of that plant for many years. Let's go down the other side. This is on the north side of the facility. It's about a 5,000 acre protected facility here. And then on the outside there are another 5,000 acres of buffer zones. So it was ideal for jet airplane testing back in the day. Alright, I'm heading south toward the south side of the Calverton facility. And I'm going to show you Plant 6, where the actual manufacturing was done, where the final assembly of the airplanes was done. Let me pull off here to the side for a minute and let this truck go by. See, this was all wooded just as it was the one I worked here for the 30-something years. Back up a little bit here, show you a picture. Okay, this building, I don't know what it's used for now, but private concern. And that was another small hangar where we had 3 or 4 flight test airplanes in there, E6s or F14s or whatever. And my engineering building was right across the street from this, but that was like a temporary building, so they tore that down as just a blank field over there. I'm going to point my way there right now. So across the street over there where you see nothing now, there was a portable engineering building, and that's where flight test engineers worked out of that building. So this was like home base for us, Calverton. Okay, let me head south again. I'll show you some of the other facilities here. Some interesting stories here over the years. I had a great 35-year career here in flight test instrumentation on some pretty interesting test airplanes. These buildings you see up ahead are all on the left, renovated from the days when Grumman had them, and they were like specialized buildings for getting the production airplanes ready to fly. There was a paint shop up ahead, I'll show you that. And at one time there was so many airplanes going out of this facility per month that they had to put up all these temporary hangars to house the production airplanes that were being prepared to delivery to the Navy. So they're all private businesses now. Here, let me just pull in here. See what I can see. Make sure I don't run over into any nails or anything. Don't know what they're using this for now, but this was Grumman's Plant 6, which was the final assembly hangar, final assembly building for the airplanes, for the F14s and the A6s and the other ones. I'm going to tell you an interesting story about this building. Some of you remember the tragedy of the crash of TWA Flight 800 in July of 1996 into the Atlantic Ocean. And, you know, it crashed 15 minutes after taking off from Kennedy on a flight to Paris. It exploded in air. They brought all of the remnants of the airplane to this hangar, and the National Transportation Safety Board, or whatever agency, they reassembled most of the 747 in this hangar to try to determine what caused the explosion, caused the crash. So it was here for quite a few years while they tried to determine what happened to the TWA flight. All right, let's see. Let me just back up a little bit here. These are all private companies in here now, but the building you're looking at right now was the paint shops for the airplanes. So the final airplane would come out of the doors over here of this final assembly hangar, be towed across the street here, and then that's where they would get their unique paint code, a paint job for a finished Navy airplane. And again, these buildings were special test and evaluation hangars at the peak of Grumman's activity here in the mid-1980s. The place was really hectic in the 1980s. There was probably about between 5,000 and 6,000 people working here at the time. I'm just going to drive down this way in front of... no, can't go down there. All right. Well, we'll go around. I'm worried about I'm going to steal their cars. Okay, this was Plant 6, final assembly hangar. First built and opened in 1953 and closed in 1993. So Grumman had a good run here in Calverton of building jet planes for the Navy and for the Air Force also. There was a run they did, the EF-111A was built here. Looks like something to do with the car depot here. Look at this. Look at this. Honda. Look at all these Hondas. What the heck is this all about? Alright, we're going to go out the south gate of Calverton Facility. The former Grumman Corporation Final Assembly Plant. Former Naval Weapons Industrial Reserve Plant, and now run by the Town of Riverhead, Long Island. To what purpose, I don't know. My vote, along with a lot of others, is it should still be an airport of some type. Okay, this is called Grumman Boulevard. We're going to head west now. Wow, thank you for all the hearts. And up here was the main gate to come in and out of the Grumman facility on the south side. How many thousands and thousands of times did I drive in and out through this gate, this spot here? Flash your badge to the guard at the guardhouse. It's closed off now, but that's the way we went into work. And as I say, my home is about 12 miles from here. Alright, here we go. Let's head up the road here and we'll head to Center Moriches. I appreciate those hearts, folks. Thank you. I think I know who's doing that. You know what's happening now, sadly? I hope the picture is in panorama view because the notes are vertical. I can't read them. And I can't really twist the camera right now. Alright, so this is Grumman Boulevard in the heart of rural Calverton, Long Island, New York, in the Pine Barrens area. Notice all the pine trees, which are indigenous to this sandy soil here on eastern Long Island.